Hello everyone, this is Marieke Blokland from bloknote.nl and I'm here with a new flip through video. Today is a special flip through video because as I'm speaking right now it's February 2020 and this book is from March 2004 until August 2006. So it's a really long time ago, but I never showed this book before online in a flip through video. People who followed my courses or some of my courses may note some things are familiar because sometimes I scanned certain parts or showed you parts from this book to tell you how I started art journaling, but I never showed the full book before. And in the previous video I told you why I'm making it, so if you want to learn more why I'm making this video, check that other video. For now I'm just going to jump straight in. I'm going to sketch a little situation here because when you see this work you have to know that I just finished art school, so I was really used to having sketchbooks back then. That was just part of the education that you made sketches of all your many ideas. So I worked more in it as a sketchbook. I hadn't heard of art journaling before. And I was educated to be a graphic designer, so I worked a lot with the computer, also with hands and real material, but we worked a lot with concepts. It was a very conceptual education and it was really focused on communication, visual communication, large words. But the thing is, I never painted. I never painted in art school and I really missed that. So when I graduated from art school in I think July 2003, I traveled for a few months, got back home, did some design gigs, decided that I did not want to be behind a computer all day, and it was about February 2004 that I did not have a job. So I needed money, so I stepped into a shop of craft supplies to see if they had a job for me, and they did, and that is how I got into crafts. I needed a job and I started selling craft supplies and I loved it. And I got access to a lot of materials as well. So as an employee of that shop we got a discount and I started to buy paint and canvases. I started painting a lot. And then also learned later more about scrapbooking and those type of hobbies, but I never heard of that before. I just was a fresh art student graduate who never painted before. And so this sketchbook has some sketches of paintings. That's also how you should read this page. They're like tiny little sketches of paintings that I wanted to make. And as you see, I was the ideas that I had were really graphical, like a sort of graphical element with text. I wanted to do something with handwriting and graphical symbols. And if you know my work well, you know that that is what I still do a lot. But of course differently than here. But it's still really focused on words and symbols and yeah. I also wanted to do something with illustration. In April 2004, so it's about here in this same time, I decided that I maybe could work as an illustrator or have my own design / illustration studio. So that is when I claimed bloknote.nl as an URL. And I started to continue making sketches. Just tiny little sketches that I colored very quickly. Added some stamps, stars, a lot of stars already. This is also the reason why I had the stamped star as a logo, because stars are everywhere in my work. sometimes a bit more than others, but they've always been there, even here at the age of 23. Tiny sketches and material study. I sticked in some felt. On the one hand, it's more a sketchbook because these birds are sketches for a large painting of birds that I made. But yeah, I also added paint and some symbols, and I really love these kind of fun small elements, playing with type and backgrounds. I think I really still work a bit like this, but today I would add a lot more layering and a lot more art supplies to it. I really love this sketch. I would still make this type of quirky characters. I've always loved that. It's really fun to see that I already did that. That's really coming from me. I think over time my style got cuter. So back then this was just really for me. Nobody knew me and nobody was interested in my sketchbook. So this is really made for myself, out of myself. And as you can see, I already made these quirky, weird characters, arrows, birds. They've always been in my work a lot. Yeah, also a quirky character, an elephant-like thing. I don't know why or how. This is supposed to be a sort of self-portrait, I think. With blocks. I worked a lot with blocks and stars in my paintings back then. Yeah, I think I would still make these type of quirky dolls. It's fun to see that I would still draw like this. Only then I didn't really take the time to actually color it. Back then I was really more focused on making an end product on a canvas and then larger, and saw this more as a sketchbook, whereas today I work in the journals and I don't work on canvas anymore. These are also just small ideas with me holding a mask that is also the face itself. A bird, eye. They're also just sometimes just material sketches, so just sticking in some material to see what it does. Or indeed, like here, I have some different papers and I just play with the textures and structures. So they're more like sketches and searching for things that I could use in paintings, or yeah, certain color combinations. I really like this type of quick, quirky character sketches. A cat. A cat. A stamp that I carved myself with my name. And some sort of portrait. Another cat. Another portrait. Saying so tired. I was tired back then. I think this is already pretty expressive. The face isn't really expressive. I've never been such a good drawer at expressive faces. But I think that in this page there is already a lot of self-expression, even though the face itself doesn't really show any emotion. Just by the way I scratch those words and the way I stamped it. Yeah. The darkness in those eyes. Crayon is just not it. Apparently I didn't like the crayon. This is also just an idea, so it's a quick sketch of an idea where there is a face of a clown's mouth and a clown's nose, and then you can cut out the mouth that is like sad. So I was playing with that fake smile or something. I wasn't really happy back then. well, I guess I've always been a difficult person. I have a difficult character, mainly for myself, also sometimes for others. I can be a bit of a pain in the ass for people, although I really get easier as I'm turning older, I must say. My husband and I, for example, never fight. We never fight. It may sound, to some people that may sound horrible, but yeah, my husband and I never fight. So, or I just have a really sweet husband. But yeah, I am sometimes pretty difficult for myself in my mind, and I think I needed to express that already. Here is also that smile. I think it's a really nice idea. It's a bit cliche, but I think the idea is nice, that the shape of the clown is smiling, but you can clearly see that the shape of the mouth is not smiling. So I was just playing with these quick visuals and ideas. Shut your mouth. A really more graphical also. Frankly, I don't have a really good feeling, I think. Yeah, this is also a body, a naked body from the back, who is having a pose of not happy, and then have this huge happy smile on her back. I love that kind of ideas that are really simple but have a certain symbolic idea behind it. I love that. Still do. She's there. This is really typical Marieke doll already. A hand. Red nails. I like this idea. There's a skirt with some kind of face and then these stick figure hands. I really love that idea. I see this as an image and I'm really excited about doing something again with this idea. It's really fun. I love it when I'm inspired by my own ideas of the past, then, because I know these ideas were just either coming from me or I saw them somewhere, somehow. But when you get inspired by your old work, it's really, it became your idea or something. I consider ideas of everyone. Some people are really afraid that other people might steal their ideas. I always say ideas are on the street. Ideas are ideas. You can't grab ideas. You just see something, get your own idea. So yeah, but then I love to have ideas from my own work, because then I know it's really safe to do something with it. Yeah, I really love these kind of fun characters. I still make them, so it's really fun to see that they're in this book already. Typewriter, another figure, I really like that. Just those quick lines I really like. At present I would dive more into it and add a lot of more textures and elements, and I think it's also fun that's already some kind of doll element, and then words that seeming that you can't see. You can see them separately, but together they work as well. I still do that a lot in my art journals. You may know that I'm getting enthusiastic about it. It's just really fun to see that there's already so much there. I didn't look in this book for years, so it's fun to see what's actually there and actually view what's there. Yeah, this kind of mouth with teeth and those. It's fun to see that I already did that so much when I was 23, 24, I think, by the time we are here in this book. That I already did that so much in my journals, and then for such a long time I made some cuter work again, but this is really so much more me, so I just continued doing that at present, and yeah, it really feels like me. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, other quirky characters playing with large eyes and large noses and quick doodly lines. It's all there. Some trees. The boxes can close now. Meal art. Fun little stamp I carved. This is nothing. A bird. A secretary bird. I saw a secretary bird in a zoo here and I really loved it. I made a painting of it that later I threw away, I know, sorry, but yeah. If you don't know what's a secretary bird, Google it. It's a really fun bird with a very typical orange mask, or red-orange, but it's a really fun bird to draw and study. Blocks, I did a lot of this type of work with these blocks. Sorry if the light is going a bit too bright now. It was raining all morning, but now the sun's coming out. Yeah, so these are just sketches for paintings, thread, le need. I think I was playing with words here. I kind of like it. Big noses. Something with pawns and gender. Puppets. I've always been really interested in theater and puppets as well. And that's a theme in my work a lot as well. Hand puppets, finger puppets. It's really fun. That, yeah, I just like this shape of puppets. A box and then some kind of figure closed inside walls. Another sort of secretary bird type, quirky sketches. I think these are getting a bit the same now because they're all just really quick sketches, but yeah, they're often really small graphical ideas. Some animals. This is a sketch for a mosaic I wanted to make. I never finished that mosaic. It was just too much work. I remember that I started it, but never really finished it. Didn't really enjoy the sticking of those stones a lot. Here's an idea of a small series with arrows. Arrows have been in my work a lot as well. And here are already the X's. That's fun, because these are in my work a lot. And they have a special symbolic reason for me. But it's fun that at that time I didn't have that. And they didn't have that meaning because what it means to me is something that was still going to happen. I know I sound a bit cryptical, but it's just something, events in my private life that don't want to talk about it online, or, well, just some things in art journals are private. But it's already there, so yeah, that's nice to see. More quirky dolls and faces, birds, fun characters. I already did a lot with that type of faces here. I really love this one. I think I have to do something with this again. It's fun to see that this type of faces are already so present in this old sketchbook. Yeah, this is something that is a theme in my work a lot as well. It's about eating. I have issues with my weight and with food since the age of about 15. I remember at school, at high school, some fellow students called me fat, and I started dieting. People who are, yeah, I think many women recognize this. I've always had a weird relationship with food, and I'm still too fat, and it took a long time to accept it, but food and eating has been a theme in my work as well. Overeating as well. Grabbing a beer, it says. Oh, I still love to grab a beer. Bertrand, and this is Bertrand's bottle. These are colors of Bertrand. I wanted to make a series about someone who was called Bertrand, who was an alcoholic. I remember that I wanted to make this series. It was just an idea. I never made it, but it makes a nice page. Other fun little sketches. This is a sort of yeah, it's not a comic, but it was supposed to be some kind of story. Don't really know what it's about. It's a sketch for a sort of story. And I continue playing with those fun hats. Really nice. I think they're really nice. It makes me want to play with those faces again. I really like that. Here's a sketch of a face, and then I drew only part of it, and then I used that here again. So you can see where this is coming from. This is really like studying where that shape is coming from. I really like that. I really love this little sketch with the cup and the pencil sharpener, and then all the mats around that face. It's looking really cryptical. This will make a very nice art journal page on its own, when I would make it more in my present day style. Really like that idea. So yeah, there's a lot of studies of characters. Hey, we saw that one before. It's on the first page as well. The shape of the snake head. Again, playing with that graphical shapes. A stamped pattern in green and black. More stamped things. Quirky characters. More blocks. You see that I worked really big. I just took a crayon or a marker and I just drew something really big and quickly colored it. More like in a sketchbook. Hey, this looks a bit like the Van Gogh with the bed, but then it is on my workroom, I believe. I think it's my workroom in a sort of Van Gogh style, and then I added some doodles. This is a sketch of my workroom back then. At present day it's my daughter's bedroom. A bird. Een paraplu heeft Fred niet nodig. Hij houdt van regen. Fred is een watervogel. Fred doesn't need an umbrella. He loves rain. Fred is a water bird. And I made a spelling mistake in Dutch. So I scribbled another T here. Oh, it's fun, by the way, about talking about those spelling mistakes. People often think that my English isn't that well when I write, because I write a lot of mistakes, but it's because of my brain. I often don't see mistakes. And the same is in Dutch. So it's not really about the English, it's just that I don't see them neither in Dutch. Yeah. I know about spelling, I can see it when other people write, so it's not that I'm dyslexic, but when I'm writing things, I don't see my own mistakes, because I'm focusing on the words and not really on the spelling. It's really weird. It's something weird with my brain. But yeah, in Dutch I have the same. Especially when I write quickly on social media, I type and I don't see the weirdest things I write. Like, for example, last week I was writing that the teachers were on strike, and in the first post I wrote it correctly, and then on the second I wrote that they were on a stroke. And I got this really fun personal message from someone who said, "I don't have a stroke, I'm on strike." It was funny. But anyway, yeah, more sketches. I think this journal isn't as interesting from our journal point of view, although there are a lot of fun ideas in it. But it's all a bit the same technique, quickly drawn sketches, playing with the similar ideas. Really simple graphical illustrations, playing with words. Yeah, a bit poetic as well. And it says something in Dutch. Ervan, ze zweeg, ze had haar mond vol en haar buik ook. Ervan. It's hard to translate this. Ervan, from, therefrom, I would say. She zweeg, was silent. It's not the correct word, sorry, but it's what it means. She was silent. She had her mouth full, as well as her stomach from it. To have a full stomach from something is when you're really done with it. I don't know if that's a saying in English as well, but yeah, this is obviously about problems with food, eating disorders. I've never had an eating disorder per se, but yeah, I've just had problems with it, especially with binge eating too much. Anyway, that's not the story for now. More birds, fun birds, always in my work, more blocks. Yeah, this is obviously a theme I was exploring in this sketchbook. Just playing with stems, and I don't know where I left it. The camera went off, so I'm just taking it from here. More dolls. Yeah, I think this is the end of this video because it's not much different anymore. From our journal point of view, this is not the most interesting journal I could show you, but I think it's still fun to see where I came from, the sketches and ideas I had back then. If you know my present work, you can see a lot of things that are already there. I really see it myself clearly. I had the same or similar ideas. I work with those quirky characters and more graphical and symbolic, and really focusing on easy shapes. And then today I still do that, but I'm adding a lot more art supplies and structures. I play more with textures and pattern and with lettering. I didn't really do a lot with letters or with lettering itself. I did play with letters, but not as much as I do that now. I love to really combine all those things together at present. So yeah, I really loved seeing this myself. It was a fun trip down memory lane. I hope you liked it too. And in the next video I'm going to show you this journal that is really much more an art journal than this sketchbook. Because yeah, at the end of this book I learned about art journaling, and then I started this book. And I'm going to show you that in a new video. I hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up. I really am curious to see your first art journal pages or first sketches when you just started out. If you have links, please do post them. I'm really curious. to learn more from where you started. And yeah, see you again soon in another video. Bye!